Madam Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, as an average person who sees like a Nike and Lululemon collab advertisement with like all of these women holding hands, smiling, and being diverse, just because we put like a bigger woman there or someone with a hijab, might be diversity in its categorical and semantic definition. But the problem with using this is that it reduces the message to solely that, and at best, hinges a woman's ability to be happy in her own skin as something conditional, because you have to understand that all of these advertisements are selling those products, bro. They're selling the clean canteens, the sports bras, and the leggings, even if they say, hey man, it fits everyone, even your body type, even your ethnicity. That's exactly what we want to challenge coming from side opposition, who we understand they're quite valiant and firm with their case. In fact, speakers throughout speaker, they double down on their case. But we don't think it's fully engaging to what I told you in the start of this debate, because they cherry pick a lot of features of capitalism and say that's commodification. Meaning, if we read the motion, gang, the motion isn't this house supports women businesses, or this house would hire women, or this house would allow women in advertising. We uniquely have to be able to explain how those particular things are particularly going to be good, despite the shadow of doubt that we consistently told you, and explain to you our nuance to those particular things because of those people in power. At best, side opposition says diversity is good and pluralism is a value we want to be able to defend. That's not the point in contention. The point in contention is uniquely about the historical analysis of what this commodification has done, which we told you consistently with myself and my partners is particularly harmful, because these very women that we want to help eventually become the poster child and even the product of what you're trying to sell as a consequence of the capitalist system. So don't let their side gaslight you into saying that, fuck you guys, you didn't prove anything, you had no counterfactual, you had no material. We did. If you check the flow of your notes, it was their inability to engage with us and decide to double down on these hand-selected kind of things, which aren't truly in the spirit of what commodification is. At worst, guys, we told you that this leads to a sense of tokenism and ultimately leads to a sense of disingenuousness. And that isn't just some vague, canned argument of tokenism. We fleshed out and explained, coming from Jaron and Andre, uniquely about how these allow people to perceive women and how these women perceive themselves at the point in which a lot of this success, whether you're someone trying to climb the ladder, is conditional on that success. But if you're a woman who's a consumer, because side op primarily made commodification just about advertising or being able to find a job or get a job in that particular industry, outcome dependent on the people choosing you. Meaning, another intuition pump I think here is we have to understand all these women, even if they're in the spirit of DEI and are diverse and inclusive and equitable, they're all commercial models, right? Meaning these particular women, even if they're a bit on the bigger side, they're black, they're queer, are all literally from the Western standard of what beauty is, which I told you in the top of my speech, which is largely dictated by those men in power. Ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, this debate is uniquely about commodification, and we think that a lot of the things that they had accused us of, we've defended successfully and explained how we can still get that counterfactual on our side through a more community and grassroots movement, as opposed to their side, who was a bit more narrow in terms of the burdens they wanted to fulfill. For all of these reasons, clear Gov ballot. Thank you.